It is officially confirmed. So guys, President Biden, so we all know that stimulus checks have to be sent out. With inflation rising, the cost of food, gas and groceries increasing every single day, and the rising price in rent and homeowner and home prices, we all see that President Biden has to do something about this and send out the fourth stimulus check of either $1,400 or $2,000 by the end of this year. We are talking about the handful of eligible taxpayers who could see a boost to your bank account very soon. The IRS actually announced it will be refunding about $1 billion in tax filing penalties, meaning nearly 1 million people will automatically get a refund after filing a certain 2019 or 2020. The refunds were the result of months of tense back and forth negotiations between Newsom and his administration. In just a matter of weeks, residents across Illinois will actually start receiving tax rebate checks. This week, the state was distributing one-time income in property tax relief payments, which were included in the Family Relief Plan. Thus, a part of Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker was budget signed a lot earlier this year. The payments won't go out to everybody, as distribution is expected to take an estimated 8 weeks. First, to be eligible, you have to have filed your tax already. So the adjusted gross income must be $500,000 or under if you are filing jointly, or filing as a single person making $250,000 or less, as well as the number of Americans applying for unemployment benefits. Though I also fell last week to a 4th month low, even as the Federal Reserve continues its aggressive interest rate cuts to bring inflation under control. Still, applications for a job will aid everybody, or unemployment benefits is what we call it, has ended with 5,000 to 213,000 people applying for it since Thursday. Hiring in the United States in 2022 has been remarkably strong in the midst of rising interest rates and weak economic growth. So I hope that President could do something about this and send us the more payments sooner than later, because I know many of you guys need his help. Regarding the issue of formula, we've done the readings, and I know Jen Psaki spoke to this today. Number 1, we are releasing guidance today to all the states, the possible flexibilities in the WIC program, the Women, Infant, Children program, because they are very short of strict guidelines that when you walk in, if you have a WIC, you can go and purchase a certain amount of formula, but you can't purchase more. The problem is that packaging issues are becoming a difficulty. According to the latest CNBC survey, fewer small business owners approved the president's job. In fact, small business owners are twice as likely to disapprove of Biden than to approve of him. Biden's approval rating among this group has not budged for the last 3 quarters, and few small business owners have been particularly focused on politics during that time. Instead, for 3 straight quarters, inflation dominates concerns. In the latest survey, about 10 foreign small businesses report inflation to be the biggest risk to the business right now. And already 3 and 4 small business owners say they are currently experiencing rising costs and supplies, a number that has held steadily since the 4th quarter of 2021. Among those experiencing increasing costs for the presidency, they are having to increase their prices to keep up. Another 85% of people are planning to raise their prices if their cost continues to escalate. With inflation rising in every sector, small businesses may be the most reluctant to raise prices. This is because they lack some pricing power that helps large corporations maintain dominance. small business owners definitely cannot fight off inflation on their own hold. It is in the realm of the Federal Reserve's in the bank administration to determine policy changes that can curtail widespread increases. Chairman Jerome Powell announced the Fed could increase interest rates by half a percentage point. This is the first step taken since the recent inflation run began last year. Presidents get strong credit for a strong economy in good times and good blame for shriveling economies during bad times. With inflation top of the mind across the country, Biden's approval rating just won't recover unless he takes it on. Now, U.S. employers added 420,000 jobs in April as the unemployment rate held steady at 3.6%. Stiff competition for workers is pushing up wages. And this is another concern for many economists and lawmakers. Employers are adding a lot of jobs in wages, but the wage gains are just not keeping up with the high cost of living, and the danger that rising wages will make inflation even worse. The 2023 cost of living adjustment for everybody, or CORBS, could be as high as 8.9%. It's possible that it could climb up even higher than that, depending on what happens with inflation in the next few months. But many lawmakers are demanding changes to be made to Social Security, at least for now. If federal benefit programs for the blind, disabled, and elderly individuals kicking in the long overdue update, if it pulls in Washington as approved by Ohio senators, Democratic Senator Sherrod Brown and Republican Senator Rob Portman have teamed up to introduce a bill this week called the Supplemental Security Income Program, rules for how much beneficiaries can have set aside. Now, the Senator's bill, also called the SSI Savings Penalty, the Elimination Act, was introduced earlier this week, so provides a monthly maximum benefit of $141 per individual or $1,200 for couples where both individuals are eligible for the program. However, some beneficiaries receive far less. The average monthly benefit for all recipients is currently $625. Many people receiving these benefits are living under or close to the federal poverty level, which is in 2022 around $14,950. I saw it also comes with strict rules regarding income and assets for beneficiaries. Brown implements Bill 6 to update assess limits, which will actually enable beneficiaries to have more savings in case of an emergency without affecting the benefits. The bill also adjusts grass rate annually for inflation based on consumer price index data, most likely Social Security benefits. The proposal follows the more expensive proposal put forward by Senator Brown last year, called the SI Restoration Act. So folks, hopefully, President Biden could get the job done this year, send them more stimulus checks, and increase the social credit benefits. So the WIC program, you can apply what's on the shelf as soon as it's the top issue raised with me. So the flexibility formula in stock should not depend on whether you have a package and exactly what meets the requirement for that. Secondly, the top issues of retailers' racism. The FDA just issued a statement about the importation of formulas from abroad. The FDA has been looking at we will be working with manufacturers to facilitate the incorporation of formulas from abroad. In fact, in places like Europe, where we can get more product on ourselves, and that's underway, I think we are going to be in a matter of weeks or less getting significantly more formula on show. And the FDA has also made sure we can import and still maintain the high safety standards. The third thing is that the PAID's potentially raising the corporate tax rate to 25% and the capital gains rate tax to 20%. To pass the reconciliation bill, Schumer would actually need to keep his entire caucus together due to the evenly split margins in the Senate. It's unclear if centrist Democrat Chris Cuomo of Arizona, who also played a big role in Bill's diaper legislation, is open to negotiations. Schumer has also said today that President Biden is getting closer to cancel up to $50,000 in student loan debt for borrowers to executive action. And now, the Biden administration extended the moratorium on federal student loan payments earlier this month through the end of August. According to the Department of Education, a total of 14 million Americans, or a total of about $1.75 trillion in student loan debts. That's the number that has nearly doubled in the past decade. The progressive wing of the Democratic Party started pressuring Biden in the first weeks of his presidency to take executive action to cancel free $1,000 in student loan debts. But President Biden shattered the proposal last year was Schumer's optimism on Wednesday that the president can move on to student debt ahead of the midterm elections this year. Meanwhile, Republicans have been united in opposition to NAFTA's opposition to student debt forgiveness. GOP senators introduced an act that would actually end a suspension of repayment and prevent the president from canceling the student debt center. Alright, that's all for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you later. Goodbye.